Welcome back to another episode of Down in the 216, hosted by your boy Will here. And today we're going to be going into another interesting video topic. Recently you just seen Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, two fellow division wide receivers, um, relatively the best wide receiver duo in the league. I would say the best wide receiver room probably in football off of that alone. We seen that right down 90. I think that's 90 you take to get to Cincinnati and Kentucky, right? But we just down the road, we got the best wide receiver duo in the NFL right now that we're going to have to play against 2 times a year. And what are the Browns doing at wide receiver offensively to counter that firepower that the Cincinnati Bengals have? And you do got to deal with that firepower 2 times a year. Denzel Ward has been, in and out the lineup. It's not a guarantee he's going to be playing in that game. It's not a guarantee Mark Emerson's going to be able to hold his own, even though he has pretty much shut down T. Higgins. Bengals fans don't like to talk about that, but nevertheless, today I wanted to really just sit down and to discuss what can this Cleveland Browns team do, for this upcoming draft to adjust the wide receiver room to, really get the wide receiver room to being competent. I think the wide receiver room right now in the day has been veritively it's been pretty much pushed down ever since they left Amari Cooper. You came into this year with Amari Cooper, Jerry Judy, Cedric Tillman. Dare I say it, a pretty good wide receiver room, you thinking. And then Amari Cooper falls off the face of the earth and gets traded for nothing. So Uh, that was our wide receiver one. Assuming that the Browns don't need a wide receiver one now is crazy. If we don't go QB, I would love to take Travis Hunter and solve that problem. But it's kind of concerning when Andrew Berry doesn't see Travis Hunter as a cornerback. We gonna see, man. Now speaking into it and actually getting into the video, I'm pretty sure that I think we're going to have to make a move for a wide receiver one here. I think it's pretty evident if you look at the wide receiver room and the QB room. Like this team is QB and wide receiver duo right now, one of the worst in the league. We got Jerry Judy, who just had his biggest year of his career, and we all love Jerry, of course, but we need another guy with Jerry. Jerry can't have all the responsibilities on his shoulder. We still got said. This video is sponsored by Detrimental Figures, my brand here. As y'all see, some of the quality of my recent work. You get a signature tag on it as well. We make and really emphasize quality over quantity. We try to take and make sure we use the best materials to come up with our shirts and the best designs. Make sure y'all following us on Instagram, Detrimental Figures. So y'all can also get the description down below and hit the link for a shirt. Everything I drop is limited edition, so unfortunately this shirt is sold out. I don't have any more, but I have different things coming up similar to it. So keep in mind, and I'll keep you guys updated with some of my new stuff throughout these videos coming up. Still got said Tillman. We still got Jamari Thrash. We still have who else was it on in our wide receiver room? We didn't lose Elijah Moore, but I would re-sign Elijah Moore forever to bring him back. I think that's another good guy to have in that wide receiver room. But Jerry Judy, Cedric Tillman, Jamari Thrash kind of makes up the bulk of that room. Losing Amari Cooper stinks. Not having Elijah Moore back yet stinks. Even though Elijah Moore is pretty much a role player on this team, uh, we need a wide receiver one. To make a long story short, so how are we going to go about getting a wide receiver one? It's a couple ways. So we got guys like Chris Olave that we can attack. We should have did is went and got DK Metcalf. That would have solved all the problems, but we let Pittsburgh do that. So kinda annoying, kinda annoying. Um, but on top of that, like I said, I think the biggest thing is going to be addressing this with either a trade. Now, a couple of guys have been brought up: Chris Olave, Brandon Ayuk. Who would I rather have? Of course, I think Chris Olave is the number one option. But what's the chances of him being traded or released, and not at a crazy price? I think right now the biggest money and the biggest bargain you can go get is going to go make a move for Brandon Ayuk. You already had a whole bunch of interest in Brandon Ayuk. One thing to keep in mind now, one thing I will say, One thing I will say is I don't necessarily know if I personally want Brandon Ayuk on my team. The only reason I'm saying that is because Brandon Ayuk expressed wholeheartedly that he didn't want to play for the Cleveland Browns. Now, I don't know if he used us just to get his contract, but that was the whole thing. You don't want to send Brandon Ayuk or trade for Brandon Ayuk, and then he comes in demanding the ball and pretty much being a cancer on this roster. We don't want that happening. We don't even want that. We don't need no storylines. We just need to play football, y'all. We've been going on with storylines for the last 3, 4 damn years. I don't want to hear no storylines whatsoever. So I don't want to. If Brandon Ayuk's gonna have an attitude or come in being a diva or come in thinking he's like a top 5 wide receiver and we need to kiss the ground he walk, we need to just go and get a draft a wide receiver with our second round pick. I think those are gonna be the best 2 ways to handle it. Now, drafting a receiver with our second round pick is probably gonna suck. Um, you know, looking at it going into the year, but at the end of the year, we should have a wide receiver 1 picked out. It's gonna be Jerry Jeudy, the rookie wide receiver, or Cedric Tillman. Rookie wide receivers have helped guys and have helped teams. You look at a guy like Lad McConkey, Drake London. The list goes on and on. Jamar Chase. But those guys are usually picked in the first round. So finding a second round talent that's elite or a third round talent, well, they have failed to find a third round wide receiver. So if they do go wide receiver, where do you guys see them going at? Are they gonna go wide receiver with 33? Do they go wide receiver with what was that pick? Like 65 or something, like 72 or something like that? Who our first pick in the third round? Do we go wide receiver there? Or do we go wide receiver with the second round pick? I would probably prefer going Amika Buka. If he's there, I'll take him. A guy out of Ohio State, good guy. I'll take a wide receiver out of Ohio State in the second round. Um, that's wide receiver you pretty much. So good guy, good kid. I would take a swing on that. If not, I would go running back. Probably another guy out of Ohio State, Trayvon Henderson. And I'm not saying that just because obviously we probably all like the Buckeyes here, but great talent, great prospect, great kids. I feel like they'd be good here, regardless of what kind of state they played at. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how they solve this wide receiver problem. Are you guys comfortable with Jerry Jeudy going into the year as the wide receiver 1? Because he wasn't a wide receiver 1 to start the year. And then if Jerry Jeudy is not capable, are we comfortable with Cedric Tillman and Jamari Thrash stepping into that role? I have no problem with Jamari Thrash, and I actually have no problem with Cedric Tillman. He had a concussion issue, so hopefully that's something he could work on and recover from. But it's gonna be very interesting to say the least, y'all. What do you guys think? Do you guys got some favorites? Of course, we could bring in a guy like Tyler Lockett, bringing it back Elijah Moore, maybe Tyler Lockett and a rookie. I guess I'll be okay with that. But we gotta have something that we overpowered on offense. Like bringing in a rookie quarterback or a quarterback that's new in this scheme and offense, I think it's very essential we have something that they can rely on. If it's not a good running game, we should go get Michael Mayer and have David Njoku and Michael Mayer. We got David Njoku as our one of our guys, so we just need a third guy. I think we got a good rotation of pieces. David Njoku, Jerry Jeudy. Yeah, we just really need a wide receiver 1. We just really need a wide receiver 1. So you guys comment down below how y'all feel. If you made it this far in the video, give me a rate on a scale of 1 to 10. How comfortable are you with Jerry Jeudy going into the season as the wide receiver 1? How comfortable are you with that? Do you feel like that's a recipe for success going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens, the Bengals, the Kentucky Bengals? Do you feel like that's enough firepower? A rookie quarterback, makeshift offensive line, Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman, and then maybe like a third round wide receiver. I feel like the emphasis on offense is glaring. We lost our quarterback 1 and our wide receiver 1. So I would, unfortunately, and I know this is probably not what you guys want to hear, I would go with the draft. The receiver is a very expensive position, and quarterback is a very expensive position. So I would draft 2 guys, and I would bring in a third guy like a Brandon Ayuk. Maybe you take one of your complimentary thirds, Greg Newsome, you flip Brandon Ayuk, you bring in Brandon Ayuk, you still draft a wide receiver and be the third round, and you come and get Trayvon Henderson in the second round, pick up Nick Chubb again, and you run it back like that with, rookie quarterback. It's third round rookie wide receiver again. You bring in Brandon Ayuk, which bringing in wide receivers has somewhat worked. You had a good success with Amari Cooper. You had success with Jerry Jeudy. Elijah Moore was up and down, but his last season here was his best season. So I do think that bringing him back Elijah Moore, bringing in like a Brandon Ayuk or somebody like that. Well, if you can't get Brandon Ayuk, well, of course, number one pecking order, Chris Olave. Number two, Brandon Ayuk. Number three, Tyler Lockett. If you can't get one of those three guys, you got to find somebody out there that's a vet that can play wide receiver for you. And then I will still follow up probably with getting a wide receiver in the third round again. Unfortunately, if you're able to pull off a move for one of those guys, I would do that and follow up with getting a high-end pick as the second round as a running back. We got Nick Chubb out of the second round, y'all. So I think it's able with this draft. Now you can't say, hey, you could go get a receiver and then go get Scatterboo in the third round because it's a deep running back class. You could do that. That also comes with developing talent. If you want to take a slightly worse prospect because it's a talented class, that also come with developing him into being a good prospect. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. I don't know what's going on with Jerome Ford. So that's something to talk about. We could get into this running back room. I'll probably drop that video tomorrow. Talk about Nick Chubb, talk about Trayvon Henderson, some of these good running backs. Let me know if you guys want me to do a mock draft or anything. But outside of that, it's your boy Will. I'm out. Let's lock in.